only promote the truth.
Session on the telethon. Dr. Price, we got some special guests coming on, special surprises to be able to keep it rocking with this telethon. We know we're going to give you information, going to give you some entertainment. We're going to do a little bit of everything. So Dr. David Price dropped some awesome information on that first session today. How'd you feel about the first session? How you feeling about the telethon? Where are you at? Where you at right now?
Fire. That's what I'm at. I'm here with a man sent by Yah and working beside him. I'm fired, and I see that the people that are getting on are full of fire. Some of them good fire, some of them not good fire. There's a lot of fire on this line, so I'm enjoying it. I'm really loving what we're doing.
You know, I'm gonna be reading some things off of our blog, the last blog that we put out that has just got so much attention. And really has created a lot of inspiration for us moving up this project of the Brit Hadash. So I'm going to be covering some things out of it. You know, the name of it that came out on October the 29th. If you go over to promotethetruth.com, you hit on, and you can also always go to yahuahblog.com. We own that domain name. We own it. And that'll take you straight to our blog session. If you go over to Yahuah Blog. Welcome everybody coming in. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, if you go over to yahuahblog.com, that will take you straight to our blog site. And look at that one on October 29th. It says Unveiling the Truth. Aramite, parentheses Aramaic, Abari, parentheses Hebrew, origins of the Brit Hadash, Sinai New Testament.
Right.
The origins of the Brit Hadash have been the subject of scholarly and theological debate for how long? Centuries. Many have assumed, Doc, that the original texts were composed in the Yuani, which is the Greek.
Right.
But a closer examination of historical evidence and linguistic nuances shows a different narrative, one that strongly proves the Aramite and Abari, that's the Aramaic and Hebrew language, were obviously what the precious text of the Brit Hadash New Testament was written in. This article will indisputably break down the facts and prove that the Brit Hadash New Testament was written in Aramaic and Abari, that's Aramaic and Hebrew. So, Doc, how do you feel about the opening there? What's your reaction to that opening of that article?
Well, it's great because it gives further clarification of what we knew, but that the original language, the original language of the people of the first century, the Hebrews, was not what they told us it was. It was not Hellenized Jews that spoke Greek. It was Jews that spoke Aramaic and some that spoke Abar. Very clear.
Very clear. And so what that does is from the gate, it brings us into the ability to get free. Are you free without the truth?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Are you free without the truth, family? Because the scripture says, and you shall know the truth, and it's the truth that sets you free.
You can't be free without the truth.
I don't even think we've covered this topic, Doc, in the telethon.
Like that.
Are you free without the truth? That's the question. No. That should ring in everybody's spirit going, wait a minute. Like, do you have salvation without the truth? Do you have salvation because Yahuwah knows your heart? What do people say?
Well, I
The
thought you
Creator knows
said
my
the
heart.
heart was deceitfully wicked. I think we know the heart.
Right.
If we
Like literally when we think about this, people say all the time, you hear them say, well, he knows my heart. He knows when I'm saying this name of G-O-D and J-E-S-U-S. But most people think that's the only thing. The Christians, they believe the same thing. The Buddhists believe the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, G-O-D, even though I know, and you should know that that's a pagan word,
Mm-hmm.
let's just give it a little bit of benefit of the doubt as we open up this session.
Yeah.
if we were going to give the word G-O-D a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, which I'm not, but we're just doing a theoretical example.
Okay.
That if we were to give G-O-D the word of the benefit of the doubt, and then I said, well, G-O-D knows my heart. Well, then the next question that should come to you is, which G-O-D? You see, that's the issue.
Right.
When you say G-O-D, not only is it pagan, it also brings into question, which one are you talking about? Because now we're going to come in with the word, and the Hebrew word would be Elohim, multiple mighty ones. Which one? So do you understand that the importance of the Hasham, the name? The name is what identifies who you're calling on. So when a person says to me, and when I'm witnessing, and they say G-O-D, I'll immediately go, well, which one are you talking about?
Right.
Start saying that to people when you're witnessing. And people say G-O-D, immediately go, oh, that's great. Which G-O-D are you talking about? And they're going to say, what do you mean? Now, if they say, what do you mean? I'm saying, well, the word G-O-D comes from, let's just give it some of the best things, you were talking about the Greek culture, right? The Teutonic culture
German
of heathen mythologies. But if I was going to talk very, good to see you, Mike. But if I was going to talk very plain, I would say, well, in the Greek custom, they got, you got Zeus, you got Thor, you got Poseidon, right? You got all these ones. Which one are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about the creator of all. Okay, if you're talking about G-O-D as the creator of all, is his name G-O-D? Or is that at best a description of a mighty one?
That's
well, they say, well, they had to say, well, that's not his name. I say, well, how can you identify who you're calling on without knowing their name? See, if we're created in the image, and then the record book says that your name must be written in the book of life. Doc, if I came to you and asked you the question as a doctor of theology, why is it that a person's name, not their title, but their name must be written in the book of life? What would you say, Doc?
Because that is who they are identified as. Without that, it's nothing specific.
So when they pull out the roll call and they get the book of life out, do you want to see your name written in there, Doc?
I want to see first, middle, last name.
Right. I want to see my name. See, everybody gets that point. Everybody wants their name in there, don't they?
What's the only way?
Well, why wouldn't you think that the creator wants you to know his name?
That's it.
If you're going to go down there and take your inheritance, because he said he's going to give you an inheritance. If your dad or your granddad passed away and you go down to the bank or to the attorney's office to get your inheritance and you walk in that bank, they're going to ask you for some identification that has to have what on the identification? Your name.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
But what if I moved to Greece. Would my passport name change now because I'm in Greece?
Never. You know what's so unique about me going to 20 different countries, multiple languages, me playing baseball professionally in Taiwan, in Mexico, in Venezuela. Wherever I go, my name is always the same.
Well, that stays the same.
It don't matter. In Germany, still Jay. You see, names don't translate or transliterate, in order to get this understanding. Words will translate, but names don't. Your name isn't the identifier. It is your parsham. The Hebrew word would be parsham, which is the person. So the hasham is the name. A parsham is the person is their name.
I like it.
So you are your name. Yahuwah, once you really grab this, Yahuwah is his name. That's why he's saying, my people must know my name. Therefore, my people shall, meaning must, know my name. So are you his people? That's another question I asked somebody. I said, are you his people? Yeah, I'm his people. Of course, I prayed. He know my heart, Doc. That's what people will say.
Yeah.
So we educating people on this thing. Anything else you want to comment on it before bringing our first special guest?
Yeah, man. And I don't want to hold her up, but what about the new name? He doesn't he get didn't it change? I mean, now we call him this. Didn't it tell us his name was his name for how long?
I don't know the question. I don't get it. Help me understand.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing the Christian version. What they say, his name changed. Now he's known as this or that. He said, my name is Yahuwah, your Allure, and that is my name forever, and this shall be my mention unto all generations. My name doesn't change, like you said.
We got to decide. I think we have to decide whether we believe the scriptures changes or not. His word changes or not. Does Yahuwah change or not? Are we willing to be bold enough to call him a liar when he says, I change not?
That's it.
All right, now listen. We got so much happening with the word.
All right.
And most people don't know. We're going out and we're hitting it, promote the truth. It's infiltrating different sectors of the market as we speak. I'm bringing in special guest, Dr. Jody Bear. Dr. Jody Bear, welcome to the telethon, our 7-week telethon. We're raising funds to expedite the translation of the Brit Hadash, the New Testament. We've identified, Dr. Jody Bear, that's where the battleground is scripturally. Now you have maybe you can introduce yourself, because last time I checked, you had called on the name of Yahuwah, and that's your allure. I mean, talk to us about who you are, what you do, and then tell people how you feel about Yahuwah, Dr. Jody. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Dr. David. It's wonderful to be here. I'm so honored. And yes, it was your witness, Jay. And I remember this was way on a long time ago. My sons are 42 and 43. And when they were in preschool, I heard Chuck Swindoll say the first time I heard Yahuwah. I heard Yahuwah, and I said, my goodness, I looked in the preface of my Bible. That was my first exposure. I'm going to use your phrase, Jay, because you're my brother. I said, now hold a minute. Hold a minute.
You put some Southern in that?
Hold a minute. What is this? Right. But I let it go until you came to me, and I thought it just brought it all together. It's changed my life. It's changed my life to the way that I just like to spend a moment before we go into our project, that what I am is a warrior for health. And why is that important? I'm known as America's top foundational health coach. 43 years I've done this. Wow. And I do it in the 6 pillars of health. I've done this forever.
43 years, Dr. Jody?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be 70 in February. It's coming up. My seventh decade, which is the divine number. But what do these 6 pillars say? Spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. Then I come into your teaching and training. You're saying the same thing, and I'm going, now hold a minute. I said it again. I said that many times when you come into this, and when I felt the name, I was obedient, went and got baptized again, got immersed. My sister Melanie Summers and I did it together. But what came to me was this.
Oh, but tell everybody what you did, because a lot of people don't know. They say, well, what do I do? What'd you do, Dr. Jody?
I went to Mission Inn where I left, went to the swimming pool.
And then what?
I just had Melanie go and dunk me, just like in the name, in the name of Yahuwah. And I just came up and we were at the pool at the hotel and we were saying, Yahuwah, Yahuwah. And it got a little attention. And what happened is, the rest of the story was this. I'm there. Here I am at the Mission Inn pool. And my girlfriend came up. Her name was Barbara. And she said, what's the name of Barbara? I like to break it down like the foundational health principles. And Barbara said to me, well, don't you believe in the name God? And I said, his name is Yahuwah. We did it without the the lips touching everything. I said, let me ask you something, Barbara. If I picked up the phone, I'm on my cell phone, and I said, hello, is Bieber there?
Bieber.
Yeah. I said, Barbara, what would you say to me? And she said, you come back on the phone and said, you've got the wrong name.
Tell it.
And it was just that easy. So remember, audience, remember this. When you say something, if I said, is Jim there to you, Jay, you say, no, you've got the wrong name. If I said, is Dennis there, David, you say, no, you've got the wrong name.
That's not me.
The Titanic, ladies and gentlemen, faith builders with me, the Titanic just sunk for lack of a little bit of direction. That's the difference between Barbara and Bibra. And I'm holding the facts. I'm so blessed that I've had an experience of going now through 3 of the years of the festival, changed my life forever. And in the time remaining, I just want to, I've got some little earmarks.
Hey, y'all, this is a special blessing because people don't know how you can get out here in the world.
Yes.
This is be in the world, but not of the, not of the world, but be in it. Right. So Dr. Jody, you got a book there.
Yes.
And how'd you come up with the concept of the book, and then unveil some secrets about the book, if you don't mind, Dr. Jody?
Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful question. 1984, because obstacle turns into opportunity. The obstacle of somebody saying G-O-D or J-E-S-U-S is an opportunity. I had the opportunity to be brought into Dr. Hulda Clark, the iconic pioneer, because my son had ADHD, but I did not want that diagnosis. I was a young coach. The rest of the story is she mentored me, changed his life forever and his health foundationally. And frankly, I wrote a goal card, and it wasn't blue like you teach us, but it was white. It was a 3x5 index card that said, March 1984, I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. For those of you that don't know what the PDR is, it's the Western medical. Every MD, when you go in their office, they have got this red book. It's called the Physician's Desk Reference.
Okay.
See, we have a vision of proclaiming Yahuwah to the world. Now we're on our mission to the telethon, and it's come to fruition. I found this goal card as I was helping another client during COVID. David, who didn't clean out their closets during COVID? And out fell out this tattered goal card. I said, now is the time. You see, during COVID, I had created 3 international best-selling books. That was my platform, my foundation. Then I went ahead and did an international bestseller in 6 categories of my solo book, which was my practice for years. Why not this? And I've got to say, I remember sitting at your dining room table, Jay Nolan, and I said, I want the number 40. And you said, and that brow went up all the way up to are you sure? I said, it's a foundational number because it's the 4 quarters of a football game, and it's 4 quarters and corners of a home and a foundation.
Yes.
And I went on my mission to fruition. And what we ended up with, Healthopedia. Now, let me tell you something about this book. I had never done a project of this magnitude. Doesn't matter if Yahuwah gives you this vision, because we don't have a lot of time, because Yahusha is coming again soon. Bottom line. So things are wrapping up. So why not this? Why not now? And so you open up this book, it has 588 years of practitioner experience. These are people that are degreed in here. And you go to the preface, it's page 26. What is 26? 2 plus 6 makes 8. Jay Nolan, do you like the number 8?
It follows me around for some reason.
It follows you around. And it's in the preface. It says right here, the Bible clearly states that in Romans, all things work together for good for those who are called by Yahuwah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Did you say Yahuwah in that book?
It said a number of times. It said in the preface. And guess who wrote the preface? I did.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right, now hold on one second, because I don't think people know that book she's holding up is an international Amazon bestseller in how many countries, Jody?
All 13 countries. We did it in 6.5 hours. And guess what? We got shut down for 3 of those hours because it got such a pickup like this. Amazon thought it was a bot. Like Dr. James Marinakis said on this, he said, I guess Amazon doesn't know the difference between artificial intelligence and artistic intelligence. So the preface in page 26, and you can get the book at drjody.com. A portion of the proceeds, why I want you to go here, because Amazon doesn't give anything to promote the truth. We are giving proceeds to promote the truth. And you get an autograph. So there you go. 588 pages in this. But check this out. Jay and Dr. David, we are guaranteed to go New York Times bestseller July 2024.
Look at this. Wow. Y'all gotta understand what's going on here. This is so amazing what's happening here, Dr. Jody. This is literally amazing. So we got Yahuwah's name in the preface. Now, I was honored, Dr. David, because Dr. Jody asked me to be one of the 40 authors in the book. There you go. Look, she got my picture in the book too.
This is the picture, and it says, obviously, under the spiritual pillar, right after.
She got me in the spiritual pillar section, Doc.
Praise God. All right.
Talk to, what does it say, Jody?
Vision to spiritual awakening. Your spirit, and his power quote, David, is your spiritual beliefs should reflect the depths of your own soul, not the echoes of somebody else's voice. Maybe that somebody else is your parents, your grandparents. It is your voice. And it goes on for 8 pages. And you turn to page 11, which is a messenger number. And it says www.promotethetruth.com.
In the international bestseller, 13 countries. That's Healthopedia. Oh, let me fix that real quick.
And if I can go on, page 13, Unveiling the True Name. Yahuwah and Yahusha. In our quest for spiritual authenticity, it is crucial to recognize the significance of the original names of the Creator and the Savior. It's all there. It's in black and white. You can see it as far as the nose on your face. And then we go on. So Jay has written this amazing chapter. And then he ends with, everyone ends with their action steps. And it says, action steps, embracing the 10 spiritual laws of success. Question your beliefs, research and study, connect with like-minded individuals. That's what we're doing here, gang. Practice mindfulness and meditation, embrace personal practices, stay open to growth and resources for, spiritual exploration. But wait, as the Ginsunai commercial says.
Are you reading some stuff I wrote? Is that what you're reading?
I am reading your soul, Jay Nolan.
This is strong, y'all.
It's strong.
Listen, hold on. Before you go on, I said, Dr. Jody, if you're asking me to write as an author in the spiritual pillar, I'm going all out on Yahuwah on this.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
100%. Actually, I used your quote. I said 1,000,000%. That's what
Now
I
y'all
want.
got to understand, when you're done with that, Dr. Jody, tell us some of the people that are in that book that they don't know nothing about Yahuwah until now. Go ahead. Just
But
finish
they
your point. I'm sorry.
But they will. Then we go into the social pillar. So we're all the way through. Here are my two Yahuwah sisters at Amber House. You just put fire in the chat. That's right.
That's
And
it.
before you,
Did you know, Dr. David, Amber's one of the authors in there?
Oh no. Okay. Excellent.
Melanie
No, I didn't
Summers,
know that.
my bestie, who we
Melanie Summers, all who call on the name of Yahuwah. There's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 of us.
Yes. And in the social pillar, she said her chapter is Pay Now or Pay Later. Sees the power of healthy choices that dwell inside of you. A healthy choice is calling on this spirit man to come down. And then Amber House, who went in, and here she is. There's beautiful Melanie. Oh, I go over here. There we go.
Yeah.
And then there's beautiful Amber. Here we go. Here we go. Let me just get this right. I guess it's not going to go.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
From surviving to thriving. And we have gone and had beautiful breaking bread with her daughters that know Yahuwah. And let me tell you, it's half the battle when you believe you can do it, is her power quote. It is not about where you are now, but it's where you are headed. So it really does make the now. Just embrace the past. If you're on this recording and you hear and say, but I've done all this, and you're going through the yabbits, and I didn't call in the name of Yahuwah. And I know everyone is, my parents, my grandparents. Let me tell you something. Some of my family doesn't get it. It's all right. And yes, Amber House, I love you. I love you. You are my daughter in Yahuwah. But let me tell you something. You let go of the past so you can be the most you can in the future. Why? Because there's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, that a gift is called a gift, because it's the present. So if I could just take one more minute, and I'm going to read in the spiritual pillar. It starts with Dr. Bernie Siegel, MD, Love Medicine and Miracles, Jay Noland, Kimberly Meredith, Dr. Peggy Woods, Bobby Kowalski, Death Doula, Dan Gilman, Linda Huff. Linda talks about Yahuwah in there. My goodness, my bestie, I forgot, my dear Linda, in these spiritual pillar talks on Yahuwah. Anna DeVere, we go into the physical pillar. Dr. James Marinakis, MD, HMD, acupuncturist, physician, and every all-around healer that will be doing a Healthopedia seminar down in Florida.
And does he respect Yahuwah's name?
1,000,000%.
Yes,
Dr. Mark Chavez respects 1,000,000% the name of Yahuwah. Dr. Michael Pierce, DC, knows about this name of Yahuwah. Shannon Roper, Suzanne Finder, Ivan Jacobs, Trey Urban. Then we go into the mental pillar. Rex Steven Sykes.
One of the most famous personal growth leaders of our time, Rex Sykes.
And
put his way, he's helped train Tony Robbins. He's trained some of the big dogs out there.
Big dogs. And I want to come back to that, Jay and David, because if you want to know this was anointed, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Renee Brown, Jamie Kerr, the mentalist from over #1 podcast in Europe, is coming over to Florida to train with us. Jamie Matheson, Noah Crane, Lee Forrester, Kathy Strauss. And then we go into the emotional pillar. Dr. Gary Sanchez of the Y Institute with Simon Sinek of the 13 Whys. Carrie Fisher, Carol Derrigan, Cynthia Hamilton-Knipe, Jerry Tucker. Are you just grinning from ear to ear, Jay, when you hear these names? Karen Rudolph, Rob Baird, and then the social pillar, Serena Brown Travis, who respects the name of Yahuwah, minister.
And who's her daddy?
Her daddy, Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Dr. Nefertina Serrano, Melanie Summers, Debbie Armentrout, Amber House, and finally the financial pillar, Dame Doria Cordova.
Dame Doria Cordova. That's Robert Kiyosaki's old partner, who he started with.
Money and You, Jason Estes, Jeremy J. Hoffman, Sue Kostick, and then our bestitarians, Arthur and Daniel Zhu of Live Freely Proactive Aging. But this is what I want to say. I had this vision of these 40 names, these authors. Do y'all know that every A-lister that I had in this book, when I called them up, I can't even say it. Every single one, 100% said yes.
Yes.
Now I'm good because I've been
Yeah.
trained by the best, but I'm not that good, David, because it was an anointed project that we're going to take to the next level, doing
Right.
women's essence, because it's the essence of a woman. But I want to end this with y'all saying this. Didn't Yahusha go out to the world?
Yes.
If Yahusha was here today, he would have been at the Ravens and Jets game at the NFL on Sunday afternoon. He would have been in that stadium. Now, wouldn't he have? This is
Absolutely.
my stadium of taking health, because when we have their health, we can go get this wealth that we need. We can
That's right.
be full out, all in, everything that we want to do for the kingdom of Yahuwah, so we can best, as opposed to sitting here eating fast food and doing all this. Say, brother, pray for me. No, that's not being the best that we can be. So be looking at for us in local bookstores. We're going to be in 8 different cities the next 90 days, taking this New York Times bestseller. But it's what Bernie Siegel said, and I want to end with this about faith. Dr. Bernie Siegel, that says, the older I get, the more mystical I become, because it's about faith and the Spirit.
Mm.
And he said, faith
Love it.
is the most important factor in the world. When your faith is from the spiritual world and enters your personal world, there is peace.
Yes.
And this is what Promote the Truth is about. This is what has entered our personal world. It entered my personal world of my baptism, and being able to witness to Barbara and not have to call her Bibra. And you can do the same. If you can do it, you know why? Because I have done it. And for
Yeah.
this, I say, Yahuwah, just bless the two of you. Go to
Praise
Promote
God.
the Truth. I know the heart and soul of these men.
Yes.
Pick this book up for a friend,
Yep.
because it could save their life.
Yes.
It could save their life through a story. It could save their life, or going to the preface on page 26 or page 11 with Jay Nolan. It could save a soul. Much love to both of you.
Thank you so much. Hey, I'll give it to you, Dr. David. What you got to say? What's your response to Dr. Jody right there?
I'm first saying I'm gonna get this book, Healthopedia. This sounds like everything that we need. This is kind of what Jay was alluding to, that we're going to be doing at the retreat. It sounds like this is the really holistic approach. That if we want to have a complete way of living, where our spiritual, all these 6 pillars are touched, then this book sounds like this is it. I'm getting it. I'm on that.
All right.
It's
It's not. It is not the bomb, because you are the bomb, you know. I'm just going to say, because we're holistic. We're not half-listic. It's
not half-listic.
I had
Love it,
half-listic.
Jody.
We're not
Go
3
ahead,
pillars.
Doctor.
We're all 6. Thank you, gentlemen, for
I
allowing me
love
to.
you so much. We know you got an appointment, Dr. Jody. Thank you so much, sister. That's my sister. She's one that's come after and made sure to help put a hedge and protect. And I want everybody to support her, because she had enough courage to lead this book up and then go to these folks and listen. Some of them were like, in the beginning, when she was working her first best-selling author projects, they didn't want her to put Yahuwah's name in. She said, well, then I'm not coming and bringing my influence. And so she had to put it in. And so now these people, you heard her read off these names, they are secular. They're out in the world. They're big names. But our names in there with the banner Yahuwah is risen up because of Jody Bear, and she decided to be a warrior for Yahuwah. So we want y'all to support, get the book. Dr. Jody will be a part of that virtual retreat when we do those 6 pillars, teaching on the health pillar, on the physical. Y'all just wait, and we'll bring in Dr. Marinakis as well. It's going to be lightning. So get ready. Thank you, Dr. Jody.
Have a great Healthopedia kind of day now, gentlemen. Ciao for now.
Hey, listen, David, did I surprise you with that?
Yes, you did. Pleasant surprise.
Hey, so what we're telling them, like, we own a publishing company. Guess who's the publisher of that book? Me and Lena's company, MYB Publishing.
Okay. What's the name of it?
MYB Publishing is the company we own.
All right.
That's the publisher of that #1 bestseller, because we have the marketing strategies.
Okay.
And we help position it. And I've trained Dr. Jody for years in personal growth and sales training. Y'all can see how she speaks.
Okay, yeah.
So people, I told you, this is my 28th year as an entrepreneur. Okay. Over 25 of those years are training and teaching people all over the world in entrepreneurship and personal growth.
Right.
And for the last 16 of those years, I've been carrying, almost 17, I've been carrying the name of Yahuwah. And we just went over 7,000, Doc. We just went over.
Oh, you went over 7,000.
Doc, but Doc is thinking over here. So, Doc, for the last 16 going on 17 years, I've been planting seeds, including in Dr. Joe. What do you see the common theme? People come on, go, Jay witnessed, Jay told. Have y'all noticed that? Y'all got to have people saying that about you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to encourage you to have people to say that about you. So one thing you'll want to do, because it's a whole rounded approach, if you go over to drjody.com, you can get that book on Amazon, but you won't get the autographed copy. But if you go to drjody.com, she will personally autograph it and send it out to you. That's the benefit of going to drjody.com and getting Healthopedia. And you're going to see in my chapter, I lay it down.
Okay.
I lay it down for Yahuwah, because the book is based on my principles that she's learned probably about 10 years ago, which is 6 pillars of success. And so she took it, ran with it, and got 40 authors. I mean, can you imagine?
Wow.
She got people that trained like Tony Robbins, people that's trained like the Robert Kiyosaki, some of these big names out there in the secular world. Okay. They all respect what the name of Yahuwah. They hear us talk about it.
Praise God.
And now, guess what they do, Doc? So you got people like Dame Doria Cordova, who owns Money in You, which I don't know how many. They probably got 300,000 students all throughout Asia, predominant in Asia and North America and Europe. They got like 300,000. She's a friend of ours. She's really close, a friend. She's in the book, Healthopedia. She's an international best-selling author like I am, like Dr. Jody. So every one of these people pushed the book out. So when they push the book out to their audience, guess they got to go read my chapter sometime. They got to see where Melanie Summers, who calls on Yahuwah, that y'all see her on the set apart gatherings. Mm-hmm. She's a world-renowned teacher. Mm-hmm. She goes and talks about Yahuwah. Y'all heard Amber House play music for us.
Melanie was on the first live.
Yeah, she played the music. Well, Amber's an author in the book. Now, let me tell you something unique about Amber, about them. They had never been authors before, but we helped coach them and measure them up to become authors. Wow. And we're going to do the same thing with people inside the Promote the Truth community as we put out these different books in spirituality. How many of y'all like that? Put in the chat if y'all like that approach. How are we going to get the word out there, Doc? I'm just coming up with as many creative approaches as possible. And as we get higher and higher funded, sky's the limit, Doc. Over to you.
All right. I want to go backwards on me a little bit. Now, you said she got the 40 authors.
Yes.
And then she sent it to them. And then they sent it to their people.
So the 40 authors all have a chapter in the book. Mm-hmm. So there's 40 authors in one book that's called an anthology, right? Mm-hmm. So now the 40 authors, it's a collaborative event. It's a collaborative project. But what happens is each author is promoting the book to their community.
That's where I'm going. So how many authors we got here? How many people we got on here? We done probably had about 40 or 50 on the live. So if 40 or 50 on the live, along with what we're doing, push this out on all their channels and to all of their people with the script that you gave them. Yeah. We can move and accomplish. Bestseller that was?
That's an international bestseller, 13 countries. Amazon tracks international best-selling status in 13 countries. every country that they track the best-selling status, Healthopedia hit #1 in all those countries in like 6 hours from when it was released.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Praise God. Praise God. We on the right track. We on the right track.
How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How's everybody feeling, man? Was that a special treat? But you're gonna hear different people come in. How y'all feeling, Doc?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That was great. I got to jump on this book. I heard her testimony on some of the past podcasts, and how she stood tall, as you said, when the publisher, not the publishers, but the people that were behind her were telling, if you put Yahuwah's name in, you're gonna limit it. You make it into a religious book instead of being broad and mainstream, and she stood fast. And now look at her. Several countries, bestseller, because she held on to Yahuwah's name. Yes. You said with persecution, that's what the enemy wants us to do. Give up the name. Give it up in written, give it up in verbal. Then what? Doesn't matter how, just give it up. And I love that Melanie said not.
I don't think that people, people, what it is you got to go. No one builds a house unless they count the cost first. And people have not, as a whole, went and come to the conclusion they're going to die in this body sometime anyway. They know it, but they haven't sized it up in an eternal viewpoint. Like, what's this? Let's just say you go ahead and you do what Yahuwah said and you live to 120 years, which is what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. What is 120 years in eternity? It's nothing. Right. So we gotta maximize this time here now.
Work while it's day.
Right? Mm-hmm. And what we're doing is, for a fact, we are earning our crowns. There are going to be greater rewards. You can have salvation, and you can have salvation, and you can literally, I want to be right there next to Yahuwah when I get up in there.
Buck 44.
You understand what I'm saying?
Buck 44.
Right. When he calls out, when he says the warrior, Michael, I want to be up in that front line, right close, next. But in order to get that close up in that front line with Yahuwah, your disposition has to have been built in that way. You think he's going to allow another Satan situation to happen? No, never. So we got to allow ourselves to count the cost. And he says, no one that comes after me in this lifetime will not receive 100-fold. Do you believe, those that are listening and viewing, that you are now getting 100-fold? You see, that's what I've had to come to real. Y'all need to come and learn from the wisdom of those that's been laying these tracks, the prices that we've had to pay, all the heck and high water we went through to get Yahuwah promoted through the earth. I'm going to be bold and tell you something. Yeah. One of the core reasons you see Yahuwah's name all over the internet now, one of the core reasons, not the reason, is from Promote the Truth.
Yep.
And that's a fact. Because I seen when there was 2 or 3 little sites on the internet back in May 2007. They just wasn't, nobody hardly even heard of such a name.
Right.
And so we put together the site with the right information, and people, and I'm going to show y'all, some of y'all in the virtual event, the virtual retreat, y'all going to see where we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails that's come in over the years thanking us for the truth. And one thing that's dominant is 2 things that are dominant in those emails. Thank you for the truth. I called on the name of Yahuwah. And then next, what Bible or scripture should I use? And what do I need to do next? So listen, we all learning our walk. We're all learning our path. I believe that my initial path was create the site, utilize my skills out in the business world, plant seeds and they're all over. Y'all gonna see it if y'all get close to us.
Right.
You're gonna literally see people from you're gonna see people that speak Mandarin. You're gonna see people that speak German. You're gonna see people that speak Polish, which you saw our sister on here the other day. You're gonna see people that speak Italian. You're gonna see people, of course, Spanish is all over the place. You're gonna see people that speak Slovenian. You're gonna see people that speak Hungarian. You're gonna see people that speak Dutch. I'm going in my head of key people that I know that they respect. And then some of them have called on Yahuwah, and some of them are coming.
Right.
That word will not return to Jay Nolan void.
That's what it says.
I claim it. The seed that I planted, that word is going to pay dividends. That's why Satan's attacked me so hard all these years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the cost I had to count. Jay, are you willing to go through the attacks, people smearing you, people dragging you, people stabbing you in the back, like you can't even explain it? People I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to steal my companies and crash the companies. Some of millions of dollars and crash and kill it for all of us. I've been through so much. People poisoning me, and I'm laying there as I'm throwing up and stuff, and you feel like you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hear a voice saying, "Are you gonna deny his name?" Especially them early days when I was coming hot off of Jesus, and I was real sick because I got poisoned not too long after calling on Yahuwah. And then I can hear you gonna deny his name? You gonna deny his name? I said, I will not deny his name. If I don't wake up in the morning, I'm holding on to Yahuwah's name. And I'm telling you, I promise y'all, family, there was a couple nights, I promise y'all, I literally did not know if I was gonna wake up that next morning. When I woke up, I was like, I'm still here. I was shocked that I woke up. That's how bad I fell asleep.
Right.
And the last thing I can remember saying, I'm not going to deny Yahuwah's name. I'm going all in. I'm putting all the cards in. If I die, I'm dying on something that I believe is completely real. That's me. What's your story? Y'all got to come with y'all stories, you know.
Boy. I want to, before I say anything, I want to see what they putting on there, what our viewers are saying. And last session, you was telling us how you were on the elevator, and because of your calling, that people turn around and just say, "I know who you are."
2 times, one in Arizona, one in Vietnam. I was at the mall in Arizona. I had somebody literally like turn around and say, I know who you are. And they looked at me with such an evil look and went, and then walked out and ran out the door. And I was in the elevator in Vietnam. They know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So what we doing with the telethon? Is everybody that's listening now, have you become a part of have you put something into your deposit for eternal greatness? Is at tsnt.org. Doc, do you want to talk to them about the purpose of this telethon?
Yeah, in a second. I'm still on. You don't know if you're gonna wake up. But that's the commitment. That's the commitment. But it's just I haven't been to that point, and we could say it just like Peter said it. I ain't gonna deny you, but you actually had to maybe thinking you was gonna take your last breath.
Facts. And listen, Lena will tell you, I was in the hospital emergency room at least once a month for over a year after I called on Yahuwah's name. Because that poisoning was so, it didn't kill me.
Right.
Yahuwah didn't say, how are you going to survive? I'm sure that sometimes you just kind of go, oh, no problem. Like that snake, the bitch, oh, okay, great, no problem. And then other times you're like,
He said, my grace is sufficient. You keep
yeah, like I'm telling you, man, I would, they can never tell me what was wrong with me in them hospitals, those emergency rooms. They couldn't tell me. I would just be going, and all of a sudden I feel like my face was sliding down and everything would start spinning. And then they say that's from arsenic or mercury poisoning. That's a lot of the effects of that. And so how I got to know a lot of these doctors is because I was starting to how to figure out natural ways to feed my body nutrition. So I started learning about things like chelation. So if you're dealing with heavy metal poisoning, you're going to need to get, I would suggest that you get chelation, which is a natural IV drip. You got oral things you can take. Well, when these doctors because the regular hospitals couldn't track it. But these specialized naturopathic and homeopathic doctors, they're the ones that picked it up. They said, you've been poisoned.
Oh, they knew they was going to get away with it, or thought they was going to get away with it. Okay, gotcha.
You could pick it up in the hospital. Most people that get poisoned, nobody ever can figure out. They go to the hospital, they never can figure out.
So listen, if you can, Jay, I'm going to say something. If you can go give us an update. I think we have some more contributors. If you can give us some names. And we're talking, as we said, on Yahukanan 1:6. There was a man sent from Allure whose name was, and that was Yahukanan. But we are in another epic, another period of time where we're hearing it, where the enemy is literally trying to kill him. The enemy is literally recognizing, acknowledging him. Can't kill him. Having cars. I remember I was going to Maine and I was listening to that story. I was driving about 6 hours, and I had to go to Maine. I was going to witness to one of my college professors that has cancer. And then I was listening to your podcast, and it was talking about how you flipped over and your car tumbled 10 times and went into the bushes, and you got out with no scratch. I was holding the steering wheel like this, though, as I'm going to witness. I don't know what my fate is, but this is somebody who the enemy is presently attacking. Hundreds of millions of dollars taken and frozen and going through all of this, all because the enemy would love for him to give up his name. And not only has he not given up his name, he has said, I'm going to undertake something that I believe, that I know that Yahuwah is sanctioning me to do. And that is to translate the scriptures from the best possible text that there are. So that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing. We have our Shabbat gatherings. We have our feast days gatherings. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is that 7-week campaign. That 7-week campaign. Just remember this time, 1940, Jay. That 7-week campaign where we have Monday, November the 13th. We're going to Sunday, December the 31st. That is 49 days plus 1. And what we're trying to do what we're going to do is raise a minimum of $25,000. The goal, that's just an objective. Once we hit that, we move into goal step number 2. But the goal is $100,000. With that, we'll be able to translate the New Testament, which is the Brit Hadash, and everybody that is a part of that. And I'm sure that is going to move us into the second phase, which is the Tanakh. We're going to get the whole scripture translated. Now, if you are able to give $300, first of all, you give whatever you can. We've had people that we've acknowledged publicly for giving $2. So the amount is based on whatever Yah puts on your heart, but we're giving you the metrics. We're giving you something to measure it by. So we have packages that start at $300. Now you can pay this by December 31st. You can put $10, $25, $50, whatever today, and say that I'm a part of day one of the official campaign. There's some that were a part of the pre-campaign. This is day one of the 49 plus one. So you can pay $300 by the end of December 13th, and that gets you your beautifully bound copy of the Brit Hadash. And this is going to be, it's not something like I said, it's from Staples with a couple staples on it, and we're going to mail out. This is, you heard Jay say they have a publishing company. This is going to be beautifully bound.
Well, you saw that book, Dr. Jody. That's we put that out.
That's his work. That's his work. That's what you get. Just look at the videos. It's not junk. We don't do junk here, and I love that it promotes the truth. It's always excellent. So you're going to get a copy of that. You're going to get a T-shirt. I support Promote the Truth. You're going to get a hat. You drink coffee. You drink hot chocolate. You're going to get a mug. And if you want to move up from the bronze to the silver, that's $500. Again, paid by December the 31st. You could start off saying, I'm going to just get the bronze. You might get the bronze, say, man, I got another blessing. I want to move up to the silver.
Right.
And that's $500. And can pay by December 31st. Not only to get your first things, you heard Dr. Jody. Dr. Jody's going to be there. It's not official, but Dr. J is going to be there. We're going to have all kinds of people that can help us live a holistic life. We're going to have a lot of behind the scenes things. You'll be a part of the VIP behind the scene things. When we talk about things that we can't talk about publicly, you'll understand what we went through, what Jay went through. We'll hear from you on that's a part of the bronze. The silver. Then we move into the gold. That's $1,000. Again, paid by December 31st. In that package, you get all of those things, plus you get to get the first right of refusal for this is our first one, in-person Sukkot gathering that'll be happening in 2024, the fall. Before you know it, it's going to be that time. Now, wherever we have it, you just get there. Jay said, don't worry about the food.
Don't worry about the food.
You going to eat good. And we're not talking about that pre-packaged stuff, I don't think. We talking that fresh food.
No. We're gonna have the good stuff. I mean, we're gonna have the good steaks, the good chicken. We're gonna have even for the people that like to eat plant-based, we're gonna have the best of that.
So this is the good stuff. You can't have a book on holistic health and then have junk. So you gonna have the good stuff. But you get the first right of refusal because it's gonna be a great event, but it can't hold everybody. This Promote the Truth goes out to millions of people, but you'll be able to say, I would save me a spot, put my name in there. I'll let you know about such and such if I'll be able to make it. And then the last package is the platinum package, and that's $2,500. And you have until March of 2024 to pay that. You have to pay at least the $1,000, get to the gold package, and then you just pay the rest off by then. And man, you get a lot with that. You get the stuff you got there, plus you get all 3 copies of the book. You get the Brit Hadash, which is the New Testament, beautifully bound, signed by Jay, first 100 people. Then we also have the Tanakh. That's the Old Testament. You get that. That's our second phase. Then we have the one that's going to be the complete scriptures with the Old and the New. You get a copy of that. So you're part of the whole process from beginning to end. And what I like or pray is that you would jump on this the first day. Some people already jumped on it in the pre-launch. You could do it in the first day. You could say on the first day I was a part of it. Now the T-shirts that you get, because if you're a part of the platinum, you get one. You move like Noah. You get 2 and 2. You get 2 T-shirts, 2 hats, 2 mugs. The gold package, you even get a book bag and you get some blankets, and you get 2 of them when you're part of the platinum. Excellent, aren't they? You said they nice backpacks.
Oh,
Jay?
off the charts, man.
All right, this is the good stuff, not junk. We're not giving you the stuff that we couldn't get rid of, so we're trying to promote it. These are great things. Now the giveaways are excellent. Those are just throw-ins. What you're doing is you're participating in something that Yahuwah himself has sanctioned. Yahuwah has ordained this. And we said there are lots of people in scripture that just had a minor role. The man that loosed the donkey, the man that walked down the Saul, just walk down to the way. That's all you got to do. Wait a minute, for the rest of my life, that's all I have to do To be in the scriptures forever is walk down that street. That's all you got to do. Look at the backpacks. He's showing off. Look at the backpack.
Is that beautiful or what? Isn't that beautiful?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And all of this, you can say, yes, I got it. And these are my keepsake. These are the things that you put up. I don't know, Jay. With some of this stuff, like the T-shirt with their names on it, I'd have to buy a next one because I'm going to hold that one. I ain't sleeping in that. I'm not walking around the house. That's history. If I had a Bible signed by King James, if I had a Bible signed by Darby, if I had a Bible signed by Dakes or Tyndale, I would cherish that. That wouldn't be something I would leave in my garage. So these are the things that we're going to offer. And then last but not least, Jay, we're putting a documentary together of all of these items, everything that took place, a lot of the lives you guys are going to be on, all them comments, event making, and Amber and all those. This will be a part of the documentary that we're showing the journey of what it took there. Sometimes you're going to see probably Jay throwing his phone and fussing. This is reality. It's not always pleasant. We want to see what did it take to get there. This is the behind the scenes stuff. And if you're a platinum member, you too are going to be a part of it because we're going to have you come on just like this. Jay and the team, they'll professionally give you the questions and help you to share your testimony. And for the rest of time, you'll be a part of the documentary that helped create or bring to fruition in an expeditious manner the True Scriptures Project. All you got to do is go to tsnt.org. That's True Scriptures New Testament, tsnt.org. You go to 300 package, 500, 1,000, 25, or whatever you can give. We greatly appreciate it.
Man, I was sitting here just listening to you. I'm so proud of watching how they come to pass.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to imagine me going through what I went through, learning about Yahuwah, and then early on going through the attacks that I went through. And I really believe that Yahuwah, he says, those that I love, I discipline. He tests us. He tries us. He says in Hazum, I require gold that has been refined in the fire. But then he says, if you stand and don't deny my name. See, that's what's so amazing. In Hazun, it says, yet you have not denied my name. Therefore, I will open a door that no one will ever be able to shut. Like we just hold on.
Yeah.
We just hold on and then we consider it joy. Like it's a discipline you develop.
I like that.
You just develop the discipline.
Right.
All right. I'm getting smacked around a little bit, but I'm also getting stronger.
Right.
I'm getting stronger. Now I got a special treat.
Give me. We got some updates. Give me some updates, Jay.
We got another one came in here. We got Charisma Serrano. Charisma Serrano is on the books.
Yo, Charisma Serrano.
For $100 on the books.
That's my daughter's mother. That's Charisma Serrano. That's
for real.
Mother. Yeah,
for real.
Yahuwah. Praise Yah.
For real.
Yeah, we got Charisma on the books.
Wow! Hallelujah.
Praise God.
Just listen. All you got to do is do something. If y'all listening, go over to tsnt.org. Be a part of the project. Now, I'm gonna give you a chapter in the project right here. I'm gonna put it on the screen, which we've already made available. If you know how to get to it on the Promote the Truth site, that's Yahuhanan, John, chapter 18.
Okay.
I just felt led while you were talking to let's go in on and kind of walk down through it. Now, this is a special excerpt. Okay. This is where we believe it'll go to. When we first come out, we'll have it in the English words, but our goal will be like on the second, maybe the third edition, is to not only have the English, but then also have the Aramaic and the Abari, the Hebrew, right there with it, like you see it right here. So this is me translating from the Peshitta. So if people go, where's it coming from? It's from the Peshitta, which is, it's hard to find any more accurate than that. because you got 360 different texts spread out over 1,500 years, and almost every one of them are identical, and in multiple locations. They'd be like finding one over in Iraq and one over in Israel and one over in Iran and then one over in Africa. I mean, and then you bring them all together and then you read out of the 360, you set them all down and they almost look completely identical. Doc, is that awesome or is that awesome?
This is awesome. So you're saying the Peshitta has the Aramaic,
360 Aramaic text.
And it's all across the world. It's not like
right. That's like 360 books.
Right.
That would be like the Amplified, the King James, the New King James. Just imagine if all of those look virtually the same.
They were done during the same year?
Over 1,500 years.
1,500 years. Y'all hear that?
So they're spread out. That this is where they were located over 1,500 years. These different 360 manuscripts were located in different places. And then when they put them all side by side, imagine there's one over in Africa and there's one over in Israel. Then you find another one over in, in the Netherlands. I mean, like all over the place.
Well, how does that differ from the Greek text?
Well, there's about 5,800 of those, close to 6,000. And none of them agree with each other. They're all arguing with each other.
So how did we decide, our forefathers, our forefathers, how did they decide, well, we're going to use these?
Well, they use this process called the majority text, which means whatever the majority of them say gets the most weight. So what if you got 200 of the different books, different versions of the Greek New Testament? What if you got 200 of those, right?
Right.
And those have errors. And you got 100 that don't have the error. It's correct. Because there's 200 of them that all have the same error, they choose that one.
So the majority, so we got stuck with the majority text.
Yeah.
Because if let's say if somebody funded it and had more money to send out more copies, and there were more that were out, then that's the one they're going to choose.
Yeah. That's why you have all these versions. Mm-hmm. The King James, that's his version.
Right.
You see? Mm-hmm. And so you've got to look and say, what was their motive of their version?
Tear it down. Mm-hmm.
What was Ptolemy? What was his motive? The king of Alexandria, the Greek king of Alexandria, Egypt, the Greek king of Egypt, because they had conquered Egypt.
Right.
Ptolemy wanted his own version in his language.
Right.
So he put together 72 different, quote, scribes that could translate the Abari, the Hebrew, and the Aramaic into Greek.
All right.
That's what started this.
All right. So then we got all of these, and that was 3rd century, and Ptolemy is in the BC. But then it was then in the later, as we go into our church fathers, there was a person named Erasmus.
Erasmus, he's a rascal.
What do you
Erasmus. Oh, Erasmus. Erasmus. Excuse me, guys. I got my reflections coming in. Okay. Bear with me. All right, so Erasmus, Erasmus says, I'm going to go back and I'm going to translate it into English.
All of those different translations and the majority.
I'm going to go over there to the Septuagint.
Okay.
So Ptolemy, the king of Alexandria, Egypt, says, I want my Greek version so I understand in my language. He gets 72. See, Septuagint, septa, that's 70. But it was actually 72. Okay. So I want my version in Greek. Erasmus in 1516 Okay. So hundreds of years later, Erasmus in the year 1516 says, well, now that there's this thing called the English language, which came out in the 50s. See, the English language was new,
Right.
fresh.
All right. Okay. So Erasmus said, I'm gonna get it in the English language.
Yes.
Not the Latin, not the. All right. Okay.
So Erasmus says, I'm gonna get this over in the English language, but I'm going to translate it. See, if Erasmus had the right intent, Erasmus should have at least did what Ptolemy did. Erasmus should have went to the text that Ptolemy had his people translate from into Greek.
Okay. Now,
But
Ptolemy,
go ahead.
Ptolemy is now he's translating the Tanakh, right?
Ptolemy's translating all of it.
Oh, he's translating all. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. He's translating the Tanakh and the Brit Hadash.
Okay, go ahead.
So Erasmus goes, well, I'm going to go get what Ptolemy got in Greek, and I'm going to translate that Greek into English.
Okay.
Well, he should have at least went and got the Abari and the Aramaic.
Got you.
And put it into English, which is what we're doing.
So he didn't bother to find out who was right or wrong.
No.
He said, who got the most? Who's the majority? Then I'm going to translate it from that.
No, because what happens is he was faced with, they saw it. There's records, you can tell they saw it. Okay. They were faced with the name. You see?
Okay.
And so what was the impression in 1516, the year 1516?
Mm-hmm.
What was the impression of the Catholic Church on the world?
Jesus.
How powerful of an impression had it on the world?
Yeah.
They got a mandate from 325.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that we got to pull up Constantine's creed. We got to.
That's right. Okay.
I'm going to get that either in a second or I'm going to do it in the 6 p.m. Because we got to read Constantine's creed. Mm-hmm. And you got to understand the power of the Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. Right? You got to understand. It'd be like the USA going, if you don't do this, we're coming to bomb the hell out of y'all.
Right.
So everybody's going to freak out. Every country's going to freak out if the USA said we're coming to bomb. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yeah.
That's how important this is.
Right.
So we gotta go get his creed. Mm-hmm. So you gotta understand. Also, you get to 1516. Erasmus is off the charts, influenced by the 325 creed.
Got you.
Constantine said, we are to have nothing. Y'all can understand. Constantine's creed, in essence, says you are to have nothing at all to do with the Yahudim. Mm-hmm. Their ways, their calendar, specific. Mm-hmm. Do not let me catch you. This is the king now. This is the emperor. This is the ruler. This is the dictator. This ain't no democracy or no republic. This is the king, the dictator saying, my mandate is this. You are not allowed to observe the Yahudim, the Nazarene Shabbat. Do you know that now?
And actually, and we can make sure of this, his decree was created to manifest Sunday as the civil work day. He actually didn't do away with the Shabbat. He moved another day, which is the civil day, no work. The civil laws, the magistrates, all of them shut down. But when it came to the Shabbat, it was officially, if I believe, and we'll make sure that the Council of Trent, and that was in the around 1411, somewhere there, where it became absolutely illegal. You could lose your home.
Wait till we read the Constantine's creed.
Okay. All right.
His creed says, if I catch you, in essence, observing the Yahudim Shabbat it's at the pain of death.
Let's
The
do it.
festivals, the appointed times.
Okay.
If you that's guys, this is the issue.
Yeah.
So, you know, can we say we have some empathy and we understand that if you got your children being drugged into the arena and there's lions eating them up in front of you, if you don't denounce Yahuwah's name, if you don't keep their new Sabbath as opposed to the Sabbath, you're gonna get burned at the stake. You gotta see your husband, your wife. Go over there now.
Mm-hmm.
We've had people report back. I gotta get some of these pictures. I gotta find out. I gotta get back with my people. Man, I should have kept the catacombs over there in Rome now.
Right.
It's got inscriptions in Aramaic in Abari. Here lays my wife who gave her life up on the account of Yahuwah.
Right.
Here's my wife and my 4-year-old child. There's inscriptions like that over there now.
Right.
Like the signs are everywhere.
Yeah.
That the people had to pay a great price, a great persecution. But guess why the persecution happened? It's because, see, none of this had to be all the way back to the garden.
Right.
The persecution is because of disobedience. Yahuwah would protect us had we not turned from his ways. Like you got to go look at, like when I'm sitting there doing the translation over in Shemut and getting over into Uruguay, when you're seeing how the people, when he brought them out of, can you imagine? He brings you out of 400 years of bondage, of slavery. He delivers you by a mighty hand. And literally all the people in Matri in Egypt is giving you their gold, their silver. You bankrupt the person that had you captive, you now bankrupt them. And once they realize they bankrupt, they go, what have we done?
Right.
Let's go back there and get these people. And they out by the Sea of Reeds, aka the Red Sea. And here comes Pharaoh chasing them. And the people, what they doing? Masha, Moses, why'd you bring us out here to die? And then Yahuwah said, stretch your staff out and watch me deliver you. Now, this is why I am like over the top. I'm patient with Yahuwah, what he's doing.
Right.
I'm understanding my father. I got empathy for my father. Yahuwah, every one of us should have empathy, because if all of our eyes would have been there and seen them chariots coming, and when they get right next to us, all of a sudden we see a big whipping wall of fire come up and shut them down, where they can't come and touch us all through the night. We see it.
Right.
Do we have any excuse not to believe and serve Yahuwah with everything we got after we saw that? We saw all the miracles and the wonders that he did, the frogs turning the water into blood, the locusts, the flies. We see it, and it ain't touching us. It's tearing the Matrium up. The Egyptians getting tore up, but it ain't touching any of us. We see all this. Then we come out with all their wealth. Then we get out to the sea and we see a big old wall of fire come up. Then we see Masha. We look up there and look at Masha, and he takes his stake and he stretches it out, and the whole ocean divides, and a big wall comes up, and a strong wind comes in and dries the ground. We see it, fam. Will y'all go there with me? How many want to go there with me so we can have an appreciation for our Father? Come on with me. And then all of a sudden, here we go. It's us. Let's put ourselves there this time. I got chills up and down my arm because I'm allowing myself to go there. And now David looks over me and said, come on, Jay, let's go. I was like, let's go, David. Come on, grab the leader. Come on. Let's go, Yvette. Let's go, Miss Angel. Let's go, Faustine. Let's go. Let's go, Yvette. Come on, Amber. Let's go. Everybody put in the chat, let's go. Charisma, let's go. Mike, let's go. Janet, let's go. Right? Lena, let's go. We say, everybody, let's go. So we start going. And it takes us, it's about 1 million of us. So it takes us all through the night to get through that joint. We finally get over there close to the other side. And now we look back. And the firewalls done come down. And 2 or 3, 4 or 5 people beside you going, oh no, they coming to get us. Can you believe it? And me and David looking around and say, you better get the step in. Let's go. Walk. Come on. Run. Let's go. And then we finally get all of ourselves up on the land. And we see them coming. And they closing in. And then all of a sudden, we see the water collapse on top of them and destroy them. Wipe them out. What are we thinking, Doc? What are we thinking, Doc? We on the other side now, looking back.
At this point, I'm putting myself there. I'm recognizing that I serve Yahuwah. You told me your name. I see your powers. I seen what you did with the plagues. That's one thing. I seen how you passed over and killed all the firstborn except for mine. But then when you just had me go through the water, I'm thinking I'm never changing. I'm sold right here. This is it.
So, fam, we're looking back. We see it. And we all celebrating. We singing. We having a good time. We partying.
Champ here.
We tears of joy, like Yvette said. We are just tore up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we get ourselves together. All right. Woo. Masha says, come on, let's go. We got to go to the next spot. And we get out there. And then after we out there a day or two, we look over and 10, 20 people going, can you believe we left Matsuri? We out here in this desert. Can you believe it?
They was delivered by the water. And then as you got onto the other side, all this excitement, they turned again on Yah for water. We thirsty. We out here in the desert. Moses brought us out here to die.
Brought us out here to die. Can you believe it? Now, that's why I got empathy. I got patience with Yahuwah. He got patience with me, but I got patience with him.
Mm-hmm. That's why he said, I am that living water.
I'm telling y'all right now, I'm tore up when I think about it.
Yeah.
So we got to understand when we look at Yahuwah, and after he did what he did, we got to understand, fam. Mm-hmm. Yahuwah, how did all this happen? How did all this corruption happen? How did all this captivity keep happening? How did all these translations get all thrown off? How did it happen? Like, stop being naive in thinking, how did it happen? When if you were Yahuwah, what would you do? You deliver these people, million people? Everybody see you working miracle after miracle. They thirsty. I said, go over and hit that rock. And water coming out of rocks. They hungry. Manna coming down. Quail coming down. Every time we need something, we got it. Oh, there's a pillar of fire by night to keep us warm out there in that desert. You know how cold it gets at night in the desert, as hot as it gets in the day. There's a pillar to keep us cool during the day. We finally get to the mountain. Masha said, I'll be back. I got to go up here and get some instructions. Now, we done seen everything. We down here waiting on Masha. Mm-hmm. Masha taking a little bit long. Somebody says, man, we gotta melt some of this gold we got out of here. We got so much of it. Well, one of y'all help me get this golden calf together. Because we need something we can see so we can worship that thing. We need something we can actually can see. We can't see Yahuwah. We heard him. We saw things he did, but we can't see him. We need, how many of y'all want to see something? And the people said, yeah, they want to see something. And that's humanity, wants to see something. But Yahuwah says, I am spirit, and you must worship me in spirit and in truth. I don't want you to see me right now. I don't want you to see me right now. I want you to believe that I am for whatever my reasons are. Are you with me or you're not? I'm going to keep showing you that I'm there. But you can't see me right now. You're going to have to believe I'm there to the day you die in this body. Or the day I come and snatch you up. Now, there's a high probability that those of us that just keep hanging in there, taking care of our bodies, taking care of that physical pillar, there's a good chance that we can see him. I'd rather, if I have my choice to die in this body and then get resurrected, or for me to hear the shout and me look up and get snapped, I'd rather do it that way. I'd love to have that happen. How many of y'all would like to see and hear the shout? Anybody? Right? If you got a choice to be raised from the dead or you hear the shout, pick one.
I want to hear the shout. I love to be on Yom Teru and we hear that shout. I love to hear that shout.
This is what I'm saying, y'all. This is what I'm saying, is that we got a shot, and what we're going to teach y'all is how to stay alive longer, whether it happens or not.
Hey Jay, and we were talking about this on one of the, and so we done so many of them. I don't know which one, but we talked about if when Yahuwah appears, or whenever Yahuwah is Yahuwah appeared, there was scripture. The world didn't end. They wrote about it. And we said, what if what we were doing, and other people, don't have to just be us, but what we were doing was a part of ushering in Yahuwah, because the word has to go to the four ends of the earth. And people don't even understand what we're talking about when we're saying his name is not the corrupt name. What if we were taking part in that? Yahuwah comes, they write about it, and they write about who participated in this project. Just the small things.
I believe they're going to write about it.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's Yvette Neal, Miss Asia, Falston. This is what we're a part of.
Yahuwah HaMashiach said, you may ask me for anything in my name and I will do it. Yahuwah HaMashiach, the Messiah, the Most High. I ask that the people that participate in this project,
come on,
you tell them about it in eternity. That's what I asked for. You said I'm asking for, and you said if two or more agree. So I'm gonna go to my brother right now, my brother David.
I agree.
Then we're gonna see it.
Praise God. This is fun.
And it's given to you. It's given to you and to your faith. We're gonna see it.
Yes.
We're gonna see these names.
I really believe that.
Because the great push is coming. You tear it down, Yahuwah builds it up.
So give me back again. So we had Erasmus. Did we finish that up?
Erasmus now.
Yes. Just so everybody clear.
Beth says you got chills. You better, because you're going to see it. That's my faith. That's my faith. What's your faith? My faith is I'm going to see my name recorded as being a part of the restoration of the Brit Hadash.
Let me say this real quick, Brother Anthony. We just often talk about. He listens too. He texts me all night telling me what he learned. He just doesn't know how to get on here. He's older, but he said, and he didn't understand it at the time. When I turned it and explained it to him, he was shocked. I don't know why he didn't know it, but he said Yahuwah told him to keep putting these signs out and keep doing this. He said, he told him, I'm in front of you and I'm behind you. People attacked him. They threatened him. They've hit him because he's saying the J word is not what it says. He said, Yahuwah told me to keep going. Watch this. He said, he told me to keep going till the trumpet sound. I don't know what that means. I said, what? He said, yeah, I don't know what it meant. I took him to the scripture, said, this is what it means.
Wow.
So unless he gonna live to 100, I don't know. But
and we part of the great push.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm a part because I want to hear the Trump sound.
I'll break down prophecy on the 6 p.m.
Okay.
I'm going to show you something prophetic to make you think, and it's going to be reasonable to think if you can just live for a little longer, there's a great opportunity you can see Yahuwah come in them clouds.
I believe it.
Based on prophetic words in the scripture, I'm going to show it, and then I'm going to have y'all to see. I want to see, do y'all see what I see? No man knows the time or the hour, but when you see these signs, know that the time is near. And it's never in history been these signs from scripture, and I can prove it. It's never happened. It's just now coming to pass. The end push scriptures are just now here.
Praise God.
So 15:16, Erasmus says, I got to have this into English. I'm not going to use the Aramaic or the Hebrew. I'm going to use what Ptolemy got done from the Septuagint, the 70 or the 72. I'm going to go take it from that. Once he got that, he goes, I can't complete it with this. Like he could not complete it with that.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't do it.
Right.
So guess what he did? He went and got the Latin Vulgate. He had a choice to go, all right, let me go back over and get the Abari, the right. Hebrew and the Aramaic. Mm-hmm. Instead of him choosing that, he goes, well, I'm gonna go get the Latin Vulgate.
Now the Latin, okay, so it went from Abari to Aramaic to Greek and then Latin.
Correct.
So trying to translate the English, he said, let me go to the Latin. I'm just making sure. All right. So he went to the boat.
So now every New Testament you see today, other than those that come out of the Peshitta, and even those, I'm looking at even those that are translating from the Peshitta, almost everyone I've ever looked at is hooked on a Greek influence. I'm sitting there, I said, that word don't say that. And then I show myself, I show you. I go, you guys gonna see it as the project goes. I'm gonna go, look what they took in that word. And that word says this 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. And they're telling it it's this other word that's a Greek influenced. Mm-hmm. That's why when they came up with the 1905 Peshitta, the 1905, they got a good project. Then it took on all these Greek. And most of the people that got dealing with Peshitta, they're translating now the 1905. So 1905. They're not going all the way back to the first century Peshitta. They're using a 1905 that has a whole bunch of Greek influence in it.
Okay.
All they're doing, man, is they're using the Peshitta, the name and the Aramaic as a front. What Satan has done is that I'm going to use the front of the Aramaic, but I'm still going to do all the Greek words, but I'm going to show the Aramaic characters. And most people don't have a clue what those characters are about. So being that the world doesn't take the time to study to show themselves approved, people think that just means in their language. What if Yahuwah says, no, you got to study, show yourself approved. Go figure out how I spoke. Right. What if he told you to do that? Well, he is telling us to do that. Mm-hmm. Go figure out how I spoke. Are you telling me you're incapable or are you lazy? Which one is it? You got to pick one. You're either incapable or you're lazy. And everybody's capable. We can do all things, including learning a different language if we need to.
Right.
That's what I decided to do. I'm gonna learn these languages. It's like I'm working on getting fluent in Latin, in Spanish. Why? Because I'm my wife. That's when she speaks. And that's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
I love my wife. Her native tongue is Latin, Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love her and my son is bilingual, I want to be able to converse with them in their native tongue. She took the time, effort, and energy to love me, to learn my native tongue. So because we love each other, we're learning each other's tongues.
That's good stuff.
So if we love Yahuwah and we know everybody's talking about their love for Yahushua HaMashiach, then guess what? The scriptures say we must walk as he walked.
Mm-hmm. Keep it
I
simple.
bet you that includes talk as he talked.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do with that day?
Well, we ain't gonna talk in Greek, even though they told us the Messiah.
We ain't talking in no Greek, are we?
No, no.
Now, y'all watch Dave, you watch me, you watch everybody's in the leadership. Watch us in the next 2 to 3 years. Y'all going to see us get on, and we literally are going to have entire sessions in Aramaic and Abari, and Hebrew. Total sessions. Like, we're going to come up with the systems. We're going to utilize the power of technology. AI is all over the place. So now we're going to tap into that. We're going to take our resources and we're going to say we want the biggest shortcuts. We want people to go through immersive experiences. We want our leaders to be well-heeled, well-financed to where they don't have to depend on a job.
Mm-hmm.
And they can take the time, effort, and energy to do what I did. What if you took 6 to 10 hours a day for about 18 months to 2 years? Just imagine how good your speech would be in Aramaic and in Hebrew if you could put in 6 to 10 hours a day for a couple of years. What y'all think would happen to you? That's where we're going, by the way. I'm just letting y'all know.
And
why? Because I love Yahuwah.
Especially the way you teach, and you teaching me and you teaching us, and we'll be able to duplicate that process. If you learn the alphabets, the alphabet, and then you know how to pronounce them, then that's the first step in learning Hebrew. So even without studying 6 to 10 hours a day, if the leaders are doing that, it's going to be easy, just like teaching somebody who's willing to humble themselves. I told you, I got a doctorate degree. They taught me Hebrew. They taught me Greek. But because mine is tainted, I have to start over and say, okay, let me just come back and from scratch because I got these vowel pointers. I have bas instead of u's. Let me just come back and just redo it. But once you learn that and you're able to teach others, it's like teaching the alphabets. It wouldn't take me, you wouldn't have to study 6 to 10 hours to learn how to read if you're an adult. And that's what we're going to do. We teach you the alphabets, and then you're going to be able to learn it. Then you start.
But you notice you said something. You said they taught me this.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is always, who is they?
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody's got to get their days straight.
Mm-hmm.
Me, when I said they, I got tired of the they mystery. I want to know where this come from. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all hear me spitting this out. Ptolemy, Erasmus, right? Erasmus ran. He had to go get to the Latin. He then puts it out. And then somebody goes, well, Erasmus did pretty good. But there's some other text out here in patches. Let's go ahead and get all of them and compare it to what Erasmus has done. And all these other texts started to come after Erasmus off of the same Septuagint.
Right.
With different variations of what Erasmus wrote in the Textus Receptus. Mm-hmm. So now you got what's called the majority text. Mm-hmm. It became hundreds and then thousands of them. Mm-hmm. Hundreds and thousands of these majority texts. And then they came up with, well, how do we know what to believe? And they said, well, whichever the largest amount are congruent with each other, that's what we go with.
Yep.
And guess what? There's another big one. Mm-hmm. We don't know of any of them that were translating that were native Greek speakers. Mm. Not any.
Okay.
Somebody go find me one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a native Greek speaker who understands English.
Right.
That they are the ones that sat down and did the translating. Y'all got to just come together, let us reason.
Yeah.
Like if there's no native Greek speakers
Mm-hmm.
who also understood English, wouldn't you think that if we could at least get somewhere in the ballpark if you had a completely fluent Greek and English speaker and writer,
Right.
that they're the ones that came out and said, listen, I went over here to these Aramaic texts. I've done the translations. You can depend on these.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know, this is what we know. We know there was some people that had a pretty good understanding of the original Greek. And they translated in a book called the Codex Sinaiticus
Mm-hmm.
that was found at the bottom of a monastery of Mount Sinai, where they say where Moshe talked to Yahuwah on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It's debatable if it's that mountain or a couple mountains over, but it's in that area.
Okay.
In this monastery, there was this big old book in the back of a shelf that had dust all over. They pull it out, they look at it. It's the oldest complete Greek New Testament in the world. It's housed right now.
Mm-hmm.
That exact book is housed in the British Museum. You can go over to the British Museum right now and you can see that book. They found that monastery.
Wow.
Now, guess how many of the Christian churches will accept that translation in the original Greek that is complete from Matthew to Hazum, to Revelation? Guess how many Christian churches will accept that as the truth? Yes.
They ignore it.
0.
Mm.
Faustine. Now, does anybody in the chat know why none of the Christian churches will accept that complete? They say it, hey, they're the ones that say it was originated in Greek.
Mm-hmm. It's a reason
So
why.
this is the oldest Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all tell me in the chat and the people that watch afterwards.
We got a t-shirt for this one, Jay. This a big one.
Man, we should get a
t-shirt
t-shirt for this.
We gotta give a t-shirt for this one.
First person to answer in the chat gets a free Promote the Truth t-shirt. Why does the Christian churches not accept the oldest complete Greek New Testament called the Codex Sinaiticus? Why do they not accept it? And we own one. We've got a bona fide, certified facsimile copy. So it's just a complete copy of what's in the British Museum. It's huge. We got one.
All right.
I'm still looking at the chat. Nobody want this t-shirt?
Lena can't do it now.
Lena can't do it. Nobody wants the t-shirt? Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all enjoying that we're teaching this way? Anybody enjoying this telethon that we're taking this much time? This is some deep discipleship. Faustin, all right, they want the lies to continue. That's general. That's a good shot. Mm-hmm. Give me the specific reason. If you answer the specific, you get a free t-shirt and you get a free tumbler.
Oh, he done sweetened the pot.
Let me put the tumbler up. Oh, let's put the tumbler up. Anybody say anything yet? Hold on.
Deceive.
Yeah. Deceive? Not there. Come on. What's the reason the Christian churches will not accept that? They call it the minority text.
That's
educate you.
Ignore it.
Why they ignoring it, Doc? Oh, Doc, don't you say nothing.
Oh, no, I'm not.
You just gonna say something. I was like, I gotta stop. All right, now look, we're gonna throw that in there. We're gonna throw the tumbler in there.
All right. Come on, Mike. Let's get it.
Mike's is one of them. Are y'all appreciating this message, how we're teaching this? Are you learning a lot? Is this helping raise you up so you become a stronger disciple for Yahuwah? Give me some feedback on that. Because we over pouring our hearts out. And boy, you can hear my voice is straining now. Been talking so much for these last several days. I even had to do a podcast for the business in between this show with Dan Pilla, by the way, who said he's going to contribute to the project. So Dan Pilla said he's going to contribute to the project. I just sent him the link.
That's the major tax person, right?
He's the number one, and he's going to be part of the virtual retreat.
Very good.
And I was just sitting there. I broke it down. I said, hey, I'm doing one. I said, you understand Yahoo? He goes, yep. I said, I need you to contribute something. Now, I'm going to tell y'all since we don't have the feedback. When you get to the Creator's name, the Savior's name, let's first talk specifically about the Savior's name. When in the Codex Sinaiticus, which I own one, when you get to his name, it says Yahoo Crew. Fact. Pronounced in Greek, translated over into, I said, from original Greek, majuscule, uncial Greek, into English, the Savior's name says, look at Shell Bay, she's on it. The Savior's name says Yahoo Crew. In the majority text, they transliterated Yahoo Crew into Jesus. So any original Greek, even though it has lots of deceptions in it, they kept the Savior's name intact the best they could by saying Yahoo Crew. The crew means the Christ in Greek, right? You know that Christ, the King. Go into your Christian church now says, I want y'all to build your doctrine. If you're gonna go on Greek, I want to build off the Codex Sinaiticus. Why will we not at least follow the Codex Sinaiticus? Because if they follow the Codex Sinaiticus, Jesus comes tumbling down.
There is no more Jesus.
Gone. See you. Out of here. What do you think about that, Doc? Is that a good breakdown?
That's an excellent breakdown. So why exclude his real name? That's why they don't like it. Yep. Excellent.
Yeah, because you're gonna go, well, who's this Yahoo Crew?
So in that quick history, Brother Jay was able to explain exactly why this project is so important. We went from Ptolemy and the LXX, the Septuagint, where we could have translated it in the Aramaic, which we see it was 360 copies over the 1500-year period, and they all lined up, but there was more Greek text. And they said, well, we're going to translate it from this one because it's the majority of text, even though they didn't speak Greek. But over the course of time, they began to tell us that the apostles and the Messiah spoke Greek because it was a Hellenized Jews, but it wasn't. So around the 1511, Erasmus said, I'm going to translate it the best I can. So I'm going to get the majority. I don't have it. Well, I'm going to go to the Latin Vulgate. So I'm going to use Greek and Latin, not Aramaic, in which they spoke. I'm going to translate. And from that, others began to translate from his translation other things. But then there was something that was found, the Codex Sinaiticus, that took it all the way back, and we had a chance to clean it back up.
Yep.
And because the deception was actually a deception and not an error, we said we're not going to do that because his name says Yahoo Crew versus Jesus. And our whole system will come tumbling down if we use that. That's basically what you said, Jake?
You broke it down.
That's why we have the Truth Scriptures Project. All you got to do, go over to tnnt.org. All of you guys that's been on there, you already been on here. Somebody might come on and catch the last bit and wonder what this is all about. That was just covered in about 2 minutes, just explaining what Jay broke down and why we need this project.
Guess when they found the Codex Sinaiticus?
Where'd they find it?
In 1844.
1844. Okay, so this is the 19th century. We had time. We had time to do this. My grandmother.
Your grandmother now.
She could have heard the truth.
Yep.
But they hid it from her. And we read that text that said, if you only knew much, then you're always going to get beat with a small amount of stripes. Much is given, much more is required. Right now, you know, we know, but we're getting that truth out. So when Yah comes, he's going to say, you were without excuse. I didn't know. Remember Jay told you? But I didn't know. Remember Miss Asia put this on her post? But I didn't know. Remember that? This is why we're doing this undertaking. Well, I want to keep track of hours, Jay. This isn't what we did in preparation for this. This is just what we've done publicly. So on Friday, we did 2, 4, 7. No, 6 hours.
Yep.
And then on Saturday, we did another 3 hours. So that's 6, that's 9. Then we came on for the regular Shabbat. We're not even going to count the regular Shabbat. We're going to just say that was the Shabbat. And then we came on for another 2 hours this morning. So what we at, 11?
Well, we actually did 4 hours, I think, on Saturday.
We did 4 on Saturday, so that's 12.
Yeah, so that's 12, right.
So that's 12. And then we're doing another 2 right now. That's 14.
Yep.
And then we'll probably do another 2 to 6. That's 16. So in this 3-day window, we've done 16 hours of proclaiming the name of Yah. Now, this is just who's on here now. This is going to go, that's that breath. This is going out forever. So everybody that comes across, see this guy that's always on the left with a black t-shirt, and this guy that's always on the right with a right, and they're going to click and say, what are they talking about?
Right.
You are without excuse. You're without excuse. This is what we're doing. We're doing our parts. We want everybody to participate. You could say, I gave to that project. You don't have to get a number. I gave to that project. Or if you I gave a bronze package. I gave a gold package. I gave a silver package. I gave a platinum, whatever it is. You could say I gave. And you have the proof of it because it's going to be on our webpage.
If you would like to see the real New Testament come to life faster, we need to add that in there. Let me put that.
Okay.
Let's add that in. If you'd like to see it come to life faster, that's the key. We want it to come. It's going to come to life no matter what. But if you'd like to see come to life faster and you contributed to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to come to life no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But you have an opportunity to do 2 things. You are now part of it, and you got to see it faster. And you got it in your hands first. So whoever does the bronze pack, the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, bronze all the way to platinum. It don't matter whether you did a bronze or you did a platinum. The order they come in is once we go to press, like you saw we did even Dr. Jody's book, and that beautiful hard cover we're going to have. That book she showed you was a hardcover. When we go to press, you're getting it first in the order that people hit the bronze, and you can accumulate your way there.
That's
so
right.
If you're listening to us, this is what I'm going to say, because we don't get all up in this is a telethon. So we're really upfront about the money stuff because we got a purpose on what we're doing. And Yahoo is sending us to tell the story. Help us. Help the kingdom. Do something. Just help us. Help the kingdom. Go over there, click TSNT. That's True Scriptures, New Testament.org, TSNT.org, and do something. If you don't have the credit card or something like that, guess what you can do? We got it on the screen there. You can do it via Cash App at $ Promote the Truth, Venmo, Venmo.com/Promote the Truth, or you can Zelle the money, info@promotethetruth.com. So you can do it 2 ways. You can either do it TSNT.org. You can use Apple Pay, Google Pay. You can use crypto if you need to. If you got stocks and you want to say, you know what? I want to take a little bit of my stocks and put it towards that. Some people will want to do that. We've even got a word to convert over there on tsnt.org, some of your stocks to get to the project. So we got a major raise we're doing. which is nothing compared to what we need to be doing and what we will be doing eventually. And you're going to say on the first day that it was live, if you're listening to this new, you can say, I contributed on the launch, on the kickoff day. That's what you're going to say. I contributed on the kickoff day. That's what I did. So when the book comes out, and then all of a sudden you see your neighbor down the street and this person and that person, and you start seeing it, it's going to show up all over the world. And you walk up and look at it and say, oh, yeah, I contributed to that project.
Right.
Come on, man. Can you imagine that? Doc, how you feel about that? Yeah, I was part of that. It could be $2 you gave, and you get to say, I contributed to that project.
That's it. That's not just here with your neighbor that don't care much. You're going to be walking around glory, and you get to say, yeah, you know, I was a part of that. You know what I mean? That New Testament, the new translation, I was a part of that. That's forever. That's forever. Your grandkids get to say, my grandmother, my grandfather told me that they supported that. Matter of fact, look, here goes a t-shirt. Here goes the Bible signed by the guy Jay. We may be long gone, but this was signed by Jay Nolan right here. Here's his signature. I didn't sign that.
Hey, what about if they get to that platinum and they're in the documentary? What if they go to work between now and March and you add your way up to the 2,500 and get all those benefits, including you in the documentary?
So let's make it a documentary. There's a lot of documentaries. Let's make it what it is. Let's say what it is. You in the Yahoo movie. That's what you in. you in the movie about Yahoo. That's what you in forever. Some of y'all, I wanted to be an actor when I was younger, Jay. I never made. Yes, I did. I made it in a couple movies, but I ain't never star in a movie. I get to star in a movie that we're making for Yahoo. Everybody that contributes, you get to be a star. You don't have to say, hold on, wait, dig on my foot. No, you don't have to do. You're not no extra. We're going to bring you on, and you get to tell your testimony. Tell what your journey was like, why you felt this was important. All of this, man, I wish we had this project, and I had my mother's face so that she could have been a part of this project. You know,
yeah, my dad, as soon as I get off here,
yeah.
when he called me this morning, and when we was doing the first portion, and I said, Dad, because he said, call me because I don't know how to get on there and give it. He goes, I'm just gonna call you, walk me through it with my card.
Okay.
He said he was talking, he was whispering. I said, what you doing? He goes, I'm out here in the woods hunting. I'm deer hunting. So we country too, man. You know, we get old country folks.
I see.
So he said he just sent me a message. Says, I'm out of the woods now. Give me a call so I can do my contribution to the project. Yes, I think that's cool. Again, you don't know what your parents gonna do. My mother don't want nothing to do with Yahoo. She hooked on church and Christianity. My dad respects, and literally when he's with us, he does the Shabbats, you know, and he's walking his way there. Right. And one day, man, I pulled him in the backyard, and I'll end with this. I had tears in my eyes. I said, Dad, I want to be with you forever. Right. I want to be with you in eternity. You've got to call on and obey and repent, obey. Yahoo, he said, son, I'm getting there. He's always humble about it, and he's working his way there.
Right.
I said, don't you get caught dying working your way there. I said, you ain't going to have not an excuse because Yahuwah sent me to you, who's carrying a big word for Yahuwah. So you ain't going to have no excuse. But he's been through things with me, man, that's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, just unbelievable. You know, because on New Moon Day, we don't do no business transactions, none. So, you know, you can work, you can have some fun if you want to go to the beach or whatever. Just don't do it where you got to pay parking or you got to buy ice. We don't do any financial transactions on New Moon Day. So me and my dad decided we're going to do some fishing. I said, Dad, you know, if we want to do it on New Moon Day, we can't buy nothing. Till that sun completely sets at dusk, we can't do nothing, Dad. He goes, I'm with you, of course, son. We'll get the ice and we'll get the sandwiches and everything at night and we'll gas up everything and we'll be good. We'll be straight. I said, all right. Man, we get going down the road. We got probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours of drive. We get about an hour into it and it's in the summer. And we realize we forgot the ice.
Oh, shit.
And we're about an hour down the road.
Right.
We done forgot the ice. I said, Daddy, we got to turn back and go get the ice. He go, we're going to miss out on a whole bunch of fishing. Look, you laughing. I said, Daddy, it's hot. We're going to burn up.
Yeah.
I said, we ain't going to make it because the sun ain't going to set. In the summer, you talking about 7, 8, 9 o'clock, way up in there.
Right.
He go, he said, look, he goes, come on, we can't. And he looks over at me and he go, I'm not kidding you. You ready for this, Doc? And we're with this. He looked over at me, goes, now Moses never was out there in that desert. You think they had ice?
Good answer, Pop. Good answer.
This is what me and him laughed about this yesterday. We had a laugh yesterday about this because we went out there and we had some waters in the cooler that had been in there, a few waters, and they was a little bit cool in the morning, but man, it got hot as the day went on.
Right.
And I mean, we was parched, but we didn't buy no ice. We didn't do none of that. So we happened to go stay all night over there. So we had to wait till the sun completely set before we went in and got us a hotel.
Right.
Man, we sat out there and we sat there and once we got out, we was sitting there in that truck in the air conditioner. We said, we got to at least get in the air conditioner.
Right.
We sat there for like over an hour, Doc, sipping on some hot water.
Oh my goodness.
And man, when we went in, I went and got as soon as the sun completely set, the dust was there, got the hotel room. We got in the car. We went over to the gas station. We walked over to the machine, right? And we didn't say nothing. They didn't know what was going on. And we got us some drink and we sat there for about 30 minutes, wouldn't talk to nobody. We just sipping on something to drink for about 30 minutes. We still laughing about that. And my daddy looked over at me and said, see, we did just like Moses did and the children.
I like it.
We made it. So great story. We'll catch y'all back here at 6 p.m.
Yes,
Eastern Standard Time for the finale of this kickoff telethon. Thank you to everybody who contributed. Please go over to tsnt.org, contribute something, be a part of the movement. We love you. We appreciate you. And I promise you, you'll hear about this in eternity. I feel that with everything in my spirit. Doc, any parting words until 6?
I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to coming back, closing it out. We've done our part. It's not our job to raise money. Our job is to promote the truth. Our job is to tell people how they can benefit from promoting the truth and supporting the truth. It's not our job to raise it. Y'all's gonna do it. So I'm so pleased because we've been obedient. Everybody on this line has been obedient.
All of y'all. We love all of y'all. We appreciate everybody being here. All your support being here matters. Invite some people back to 6. We love y'all. See you then. Bye-bye.
Only promote the truth.